Dave Scott, we're back for another Hub Media presentation. I'm with Barb from Port Dover Apothecary. Where did that come from? Dover Apothecary. No, not all my life. And Barb, I got to tell you, I got a great email last month. We've been talking so much about the metabolic system that you're working with. And one of your clients reached out to me to say, hey, thanks for the video. Saw the video, got in touch with Barb, and it's made a huge impact on my life, really cut down on the arthritis that I've been feeling in my hands and my feet. And I wanted to share that with you. I think that person probably reached out to you too, but it's really good to know that our little videos help somebody's life, isn't it?
It is fantastic at that. And yes, this person did reach out to me, is doing fabulous on the program, and the feedback I've had from everybody thus far that has decided to prioritize themselves and take it upon themselves to sign up. Every story is rewarding, but just to know that people can make these changes with fueling their body with the right foods, and that it's not all about other, extraneous substances that they have to use. It's just figuring out what the food is that should be the right fuel. It's great, and I just love hearing these testimonials as their lives improve and their quality of life improves.
Maybe just quickly for the folks that don't know, just quick update on how it's going with you and what exactly it is that you're doing with this metabolic system that you're using.
Okay, so the program itself is called the Metabolic Balance Program, and it is at least 50 years old. So the first 25 years of its existence, it was strictly doctors, mostly Germany, UK, that kind of thing. And then in 2001, it became available to practitioners like myself, where you can take the course. And once you've completed that as coaches, we actually go through the entire program ourselves. It all is based on, a great deal of personal history and profile information, along with blood work that you get done. And then all of that information gets sent to the doctors in Germany. And a specific program is tailored uniquely to that person's metabolic cellular function. We have over 50 different hormones in our body, and all of those play a role in the types of problems that we have, as well as our genetics and things like that. So it is, completely science-based. One of the analogies I love to use is most of us are fortunate enough to have a car. Well, we know your car needs gasoline. We know that it needs oil. We know that it needs windshield washer fluid, especially at this time of year, transmission fluid, brake fluid, all of these different fluids. But if you put oil in your gas tank and gasoline in your windshield washer and mix up all of these different primary ingredients for your car, you've suddenly got a really expensive, useless piece of equipment sitting in your driveway that you've completely messed up. So what this program does, because people think of metabolism of, oh, I just can't get that weight off. Well, it's so much more than that, because it's the balance of, at the very cellular level of our body, of every single enzymatic function that has to happen to make us thrive, not just survive. And so many people are just stuck in this mode of survival and feeling crappy, and maybe they've never felt well. So this program gets down to the bottom of that, and the science backs it up, and your own blood work is the blueprint for this plan that comes up. And then the foods on your plan have been specifically and uniquely chosen for you in the right balance for your body at the right time of day. Even it takes it that deeply into it. And so the response that I've had myself, I mean, oh my gosh, thought I was going to be chained to all of this pain from the Lyme disease and past health issues. Segue there is, everybody thinks that a natural health practitioner or these other practitioners are naturally healthy people, but the majority of us have had so many challenges and had to fight through it. And that sort of, is what inspired us to start studying in the first place. But so just for people that want to lose weight, losing the weight sometimes ends up being just a happy side effect of everything else that this program does for them. And I would say that that's one of the most common things that I'm hearing back from the people that have joined up so far is they just feel so good. They have more vitality. They have more energy. Their skin looks better. Perhaps they're sleeping better, but for many of them, there's a big reduction in inflammation in their body. And if we reduce inflammation, we automatically have a reduction of pain. So it's fantastic. We can't speak highly enough about the program.
There's two things there that you said that kind of resonate with me. You said about as a practitioner yourself, you walk the path, you go through some of these things in your life, and that helps you become a better practitioner. It finds that focus. With the metabolic thing, one question I have for you is, and this falls into that other category as well as being a practitioner, was it hard to take that first step mentally? Like, did you sort of, boy, do I want to do this, or was it, I need to do this now? I think knowing you and your drive, and a lot of people don't have that drive. So tell me how you got to that point where you said, I am doing this now.
I wouldn't say that my personal resistance came from being afraid to step into it, because after taking the course, it was just blowing the lid off of so many other things that I had learned over the years, and just reshuffling it all into an entirely different context that just completely made sense. I hesitated initially in taking the course because as a practitioner, and it doesn't matter what field you're in, whether you're, natural health oriented or allopathic, is you get really, really frustrated in seeing people hop on bandwagons of things that haven't been proven, that are basically just smoke and mirrors, having them spend good money after bad and ending up no better off health-wise and out of pocket to boot. So when I decided to join this, I had to be convinced that it was exactly 100% what it was portrayed to be, because I'm not about to put something out there to somebody else that I don't implicitly believe at the very core of me is going to do them good. You won't find it in my office. I won't recommend it as a supplement, as a program, any of those things, if I am not entirely convinced that that science is there and that it's backing it. So when I took the course, and then as coaches, we must experience it before we're allowed to actually begin coaching other people. And I'm like, this is incredible. It's just out. So to get it out there, it was just like, this needs to be out there now. People need to know this now and be able to experience this, and to have somebody right there with you the entire way, that's coaching you, that's supporting you, that's helping you figure out because it's a lot of information, right? It's newness, and newness can be really, really scary if you don't have somebody else there guiding you. That's precisely why, as coaches, we have to have this journey first. And I just have to say I'm so grateful.
Wow. I mean, that's a powerful statement coming from Barb, that I think you put it in a really good nutshell there, and people can now look at this, and like you said, you're seeing the success with your clients. And it sounds like to me you're saying, in all your practice, I think you do this. You're not, I don't want to say you're holding their hand, but you're right there with them every step of the way. You're making sure that the journey is successful. And I think everybody needs that support in any walk of life. So kudos to you. And I think that you pretty much do that, don't you? When somebody comes in for a consult, you start right there at the grassroots, don't you?
Absolutely. And, people that are not sure whether it's right for them, they'll book a nutritional consultation, and we'll review the history, review their concerns, discuss an overview, pretty in-depth overview of the program. And if it's not for them, and there will be people that it isn't going to be something that they're perhaps ready for yet, or there may be other health issues that would prevent them from starting the program right now. Whatever it is, if that program doesn't end up being the right thing, then we tailor something else with some of those basic golden rules, but we can tailor something else to them so that they're still getting that help that they have stepped up and recognized that they want to be responsible for. But that, ultimately it has to come from a person wanting change, that understanding that they know their life can be different, looking to their future self and saying, what do I want for myself long term? And that's a really powerful thing. And some people, they're very, very overwhelmed by many different things that take their time and attention in life. And they don't prioritize themselves. Sometimes not until they absolutely have to and they have a crisis. But oftentimes for women, it's not until the nest is empty. And then suddenly they have that time. And I mean, one of the funniest things, and I still laugh about it, is that my husband and I have been together for 41 years. And this is the first time, December was the first time in my life I've gone out and bought myself sauerkraut. It's on my plan. I love sauerkraut. I used to eat sauerkraut growing up because my dad liked it. And I didn't buy it because my husband didn't like it. My kids hated it. And I'm like, what is that all about? That we do that to ourselves, that it's something that you love, but you don't because not everybody else does. So when you step into yourself as a priority, it's massive, right? You're giving yourself permission to love yourself. And guess what? Everybody deserves to feel that way about themselves. So it's kind of fun.
It's your mothering instincts. You don't want to upset the apple cart. So you try and do what's right by the whole family. And I think sometimes men do it too. We're just as guilty. We don't put our health as the number one priority. We put everybody else's. This is a lot of information today. This is really good. And I think we kind of alluded to it, but we were talking about off air before we came on, folks, just about sort of maybe go quickly through the steps. If someone wants to get in touch with you, not necessarily with the metabolic situation, but just in general, what do they go through? What are the stages when they see you at the apothecary and they say, hey, Barb, I need help with? Walk me through that.
Okay. So at the apothecary, my availability is typically on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, generally 9 till 1. And because there are many other jobs there at the same time, it would have to be something where people are booking an actual appointment if they want something more than just a few minutes. But otherwise, I can be reached at my cell number, which is 519-410-3544. My email is a great way to do it, and that is barb@healthywellandwise.ca. At the apothecary, it's 519-583-3784. And, so it's a great way between videos we've had before, the hub articles, which, oh my gosh, we've got so many people writing amazing things in there. But, the apothecary, everybody knows it's just a great hub of our community for certain. And that Mike and Sheena have the same, community-based, patient-centered approach to people. And that's why it's an easy place to be. And so for supplement information, it's great. If people have concerns about medications they're on and different supplements that they should be on, that those medications might be compromising in their system, just any number of different things that people, it may be one very simple thing, or it could be a full consult. But I do the consultations in my home office just because it's a calm environment and
a little quieter.
And totally focus on the individual. There's always an intake form that I email out to my clients. They can fill that out and bring that to the consultation, and then we tailor it to what the individual we get down into the nitty gritty of what it is that they need, and then that support system's there. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm off to my next visit, so I've got to get moving, but I appreciate your time today and hope everything's going well. And thanks for the update on that. I really appreciate that. We got to keep sort of following that along because it seems it's having a great impact. And I love hearing the success stories, and I love knowing that, it's going well all the way around. Take care, Barb. Great to see you.
You too, Dave. Thanks. Bye.